Attorney General, blah blah blah. Anyway, you will see. You will watch it afterwards. You should watch the. I got somebody waiting for me in reception and everything, but let's just deal this straight.
Yeah.
Are we live? I don't even know.
We are frozen.
No. Okay, so we're live now, apparently. Super. Ladies and gentlemen of the Facebook world, let's see, let's wait a little bit. Let me go back to the... Yeah, I've got the famous Margaret Bass here. And Stuart. We're just waiting for one viewer. Waiting for people to get the
Facebook.
Yeah, it's on Facebook now, but we just.
Well, you want to call it fraud on the court, on the fraud.
Don't worry about nothing. You let me be the host and you be the guest.
All right.
So let me go on this one. I can't.
Where's Stuart? I can't see him.
Yeah. Oh.
The recording?
Got it. Okay, so it's there now.
Well, you want me live?
You're live.
Yeah. Did you see it?
You've only got my voice though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've only got your voice, but listen, we're capturing the moment, yeah? We're capturing the moment.
Why don't you wait till this evening when there's...
Listen, you're not gonna catch me this evening. Listen, man, you always wanna wait, yeah?
There's more people.
Forget more people.
Yeah.
We're gonna do 20 of these, don't worry. Yeah, so I got Margaret Bass in the studio here with me. And we got fresh from prison, Mr. Stuart Russel Cox. Welcome, Stuart, back to the free world, as we say in Jamaica. You're there, road. Say something. He's quiet. He lost his voice in prison.
No, hang on a minute. I wasn't in prison. I was there at Her Majesty's pleasure as a guest.
You were a special guest, yeah, because there was no...
Yeah, it was a malicious prosecution.
It was...
And that is according to the police.
Yeah.
That if a particular case is turned down with no further action by the Crown Prosecution Service or
Yeah.
by them, then it's nothing less than malicious prosecution.
But that's the police bullshit word, Stuart, because I will put it to you and the police. That is not a prosecution at all.
No, it's not.
So call it malicious prosecution is kind of implying that there was a, due process, but it was...
Malicious prosecution because in the sense that the Crown Prosecution Service turned it down, the police turned it down, and because some reprobate at the government legal department decided they wanted to bring a private prosecution, that would mean triple jeopardy, right? The point is, if they're bringing a private prosecution out of the public jurisdiction into the private, then who's indemnifying it? Because you can't bring the private into the public.
But Stuart, whether it's public or private, where is the prosecution?
Well, exactly, because I've asked for the computer record, which has not appeared to date. I've asked for that about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
I've asked the Attorney General by hard copy and email if he brought this case, and that's never been replied. So by tacit agreement and acquiescence, they've defaulted and accepted culpable liability, given that an honest man fears no question. So nothing has been replied to, nothing has been produced. The government legal department at the time, there was no Attorney General in office, Geoffrey Cox, because he was suspended. Therefore, there is no authority granted to bring any kind of case.
So you asked for, I think, over a year or 2 years. Yeah. Where is
Yeah.
where is this proceeding against me? Where is the case management? Where is that? Where is
Where is the authority by the Attorney General? Where is the affidavit of truth from the Attorney General? Because I look at the documents and it says Attorney General versus me. Well, the Attorney General on his own is just a fiction. There's no name of the Attorney General. And as you know, a fiction cannot bring a claim against a living soul.
Yeah.
But
The question
let us say
which living soul, which title have they brought it against?
Yeah.
Have they brought it against the straw man, Stuart Russel Cox? Have they brought it against Stuart of the Cox family? Have they brought it against Stuart the corporation? Or have they brought it against Stuart the minister? And they're refusing to answer that question.
well, let me take you back one step, Stuart.
Yeah.
You're a man of great eloquence, and I respect it so much. You got a gift with the English language. But listen, take what? Where is it? What did you file in court? Not all the junk paper you sent me. What did you actually file in court? Was there a case management file? Did you pay a fee to the court?
No case management. No discovery. I was denied discovery by the judge, which validates that he's showing the other side favoritism and discrimination. And in the original case that this came from, the barrister didn't have the right of audience, and the judge claimed I didn't have the right, but given that I was a first party of interest trustee to the estate, I had a higher status than the barrister who didn't have the right of audience. Yet he gave that barrister audience, thereby discriminating against me and showing favoritism to all these members of the private cartel operating inside our courtrooms, which is treason upon the crown, the state, and the people. Given that the practice of law cannot be licensed, the practice of law is a common right.
Yeah.
And this was the objective, to establish that there is a private cartel running inside our public courtrooms, and there were 13 witnesses at the last hearing who evidenced that themselves.
And Margaret
By
sitting
their
here,
experience.
Margaret was present.
I was there.
And
Yeah.
Margaret there was present and
Yeah.
saw it for herself. That I mistakenly went ahead with my pleadings first when it's the prerogative of the prosecution to put their case forward first,
Yeah.
and then I'll put mine forward, and then we'll go for closing arguments.
Yeah.
Well, in this case, I just put mine first, and I stated that the original case was that I wanted to know if the judge was born on the land,
Yeah.
simply that under the Bill of Rights, a party not born on the land cannot hold public office. Thereby, that would invalidate all his determinations to date. And I also mentioned the fact, when I was there, that Boris Johnson was also not born on the land, therefore did not have locus standi in office, therefore could not appoint anybody. Not to mention the fact that Parliament is open by black rod and no white rod, which results in an unbalanced Parliament, and technically all legislation since 1850 to date is technically invalid and void. Therefore, sir, you have no government either of any locus standi.
Yeah, that's true.
This
That-
he
that-
overlooks.
That could
Right.
explain.
The
That could
question is-
explain, Stuart. That could explain.
Hold on a minute, and
Yeah.
that
Mhm.
means, does he have the jurisdiction to hear constitutional points in law, which he ignored? And by ignoring that, what kicks in is Elman versus Mayors 1940 House of Lords ruling, evidence presented to the judicial chair that is ignored by the judicial chair occupant results in a void order and the imposition of costs.
Right.
I think you have a problem, sir.
Yeah.
But let just put this into perspective for those who don't know the case.
Yeah.
You were assisting Professor Mohammed Badr,
Correct.
who is a gentleman who invented a
Who has
virus.
been stitched up and ripped off
Yeah,
by
yeah.
shops
Yeah,
and
wait, hang on, hang on,
lawyers.
hang on. He invented a virus, so he's a man of the
He
validity.
didn't invent a virus, he discovered 3 viruses.
No, I thought he invented a tobacconist type of virus that was good for
No,
tomatoes.
he didn't invent it. He discovered the viruses
Oh, he
which were
discovered it.
unknown before.
Okay.
3 of them.
Right. So anyway, you're assisting him, who himself was a victim of a fake court order and a fake warrant, which the
Yeah, would
Brent
you like me to tell you how that came about?
how Brent Council sees this.
No, it goes back beyond that.
Oh wow.
Right, do you want me to explain the case?
Yeah, because this is the one you were assisting the guy who is an ethnic minority.
Correct.
And they're saying you were racist, but how can it be racist? You're assisting an ethnic minority.
Absolutely, 99% of my clients are ethnic minorities.
Yeah.
And it says in the Bible, as you know, to take advantage of foreigners, and I'm not having that.
But then you were quoting something from Vattel's law that says a man not born
God's law of nations, yes, section 213. A party not born on the land cannot hold public office.
and
Its descendants inherit the posterity of the family.
And there was a bent Asian judge. What's his name again? I can't remember.
Well, I'm not going to say that at this stage.
No, you. But tell you what, we don't know. Stuart, we don't have it. Stuart.
Back in the case had been tampered with, and I discovered that because I'm a network engineer as well, by the date on the audio file when the case was in July, but the edited version they gave me had the date of November on it, which proves that the audio file has been edited.
Wow.
Because when I came back and I listened to the audio file, I filled in all the missing places that had been extracted or redacted from the audio.
Yeah.
That went to the GLD. They had a load of nonsense communication from the court, Wilton County Court, about the audio file.
Yeah.
And it failed to investigate it further. Now, not to mention the fact that I've got another friend who was in front of the same judge who also had edited audio files.
Wow.
Okay?
But they have some stories, Stuart, that about the case. You see, they're always happy to give you the transcripts, yeah? But what they're not happy to give you is the case management file, which will show that it's a false case in the first place.
Exactly, and fraud vitiates all claims thereafter.
Right.
So the basis on this claim
Yeah.
is, and me being falsely imprisoned is because they obstructed and perverted the course of justice within a private cartel in order to obtain advantage at the detriment of their victim.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what they're doing is utilizing fraudulent conveyance of equivocal language through legal sophistry in order to obtain modification of contract conversion under pecuniary deception for advantage and unjust enrichment.
It's another way to say they're violent criminals that they wanted to steal your flat.
Well, no, that's not true. There's not a question about wanting to steal my flat. No,
Okay.
I don't know where you got that from.
Well, they have a lot of fake court orders on your flat, no?
No, what they're attempting to do basically is deprive people of valuable considerations under the guise of law, which is legal theft. Remember that if something's not lawful, it's not legal, and none of it, what they did, was lawful, or in congruence with procedure, they willfully obstructed it, and me getting the discovery that I required in order to
defend.
establish my case that I was on the right side of the law. They'd obviously conspired in the manner that they had, in the manner that they were operating within the public courtrooms.
I mean, you had a couple of cops cops visit you a few times, and you wrote to them and say, why did you come to my house if you have a warrant?
Well, the fact that given that, see, it's a contradiction in terms, given that the police issued a no further action, and then they're coming to my house to enforce a warrant. And let me tell you how they enforce this warrant.
Uh-huh.
They came to my house 2 or 3 times, as far as I know, and there was nobody here. Now, this time they came, they smashed the door.
Right.
And after the first smash, I went to the door.
They are not allowed to do that.
I saw the warrant, and there was no authorization to break in upon that warrant,
Exactly.
let alone any signature on the warrant.
You saw a piece of paper, Stuart. You saw a piece of paper. Come on. You didn't see a warrant, I'm telling you.
Right, now I've got the order of the 26th of August 2020, where
Yeah.
the judge says there that I failed to produce medical evidence and I failed to produce evidence that my mother had died.
Right.
Right? Note the date, 26th of August.
Mm-hmm.
On the 10th of August, I went to see my stepfather. So on the 10th of August, my stepfather informed me my mother had been put into a home. On the 11th, I went down to my mother, 120 miles away. And on the 12th, my mother died. And I'd notified the court that I couldn't appear on the 13th,
Yeah.
the following day, due to extraneous circumstances and reasonable excuse in law. Not to mention that my dog got killed by a car down there in the same week, so I got a double hit. Anyway, on the 26th of August, I received an order from the judge saying that I failed to produce the evidence that my mother had died.
Right.
But on the 13th, on the 12th, when my mother did die, I informed them, and they confirmed that by a responding email, because I gave them the phone number of the home care home where she died, and I got a responding email with their condolences. Now, if it's not in the order of the 26th, then obviously the GLD is withholding evidence from the judge.
Yeah.
Because they're determined to obtain advantage and put me in prison when it's unjustifiable to do so. So
But-
they're in big shit.
But they were using the prison as a weapon, basically, to enforce a false
Well,
court.
not necessarily the prison, no, they were abusing their power of office. Right? Because in the hearing, the judge, whereby the prosecution should have gone first and then me second and then the closing arguments, I went first. Right? My mistake. I shouldn't have gone first because you give all the information to them which they twist and use against you.
Yeah.
Because they're attorneys, right? At turn. To turn the case to make the innocent party look guilty.
Yeah.
This is their evil, how can I say, we fight not against principalities, we fight against evil and wickedness in high places. So what happened was, after I'd given my pleadings, the prosecution went forward to give theirs, and the judge said to them, I suggest you say nothing.
Yeah.
So the judge is telling him
Telling them, helping them.
what to say.
Thereby practicing law from the bench, and
was so
abetting
horrible to
them
hear.
to have advantage, right? So there was no pleadings by the other side, and there was no closing arguments by other side, but he made a judgment,
Yeah.
right, which is a breach of procedure.
Yeah.
But you filed a statutory declaration which was signed and stamped by the court,
Yeah.
pointing out all there is no warrant. The police told you it was a civil matter. There is no case management. There are no fees being paid. Jeffrey Cox can't confirm he made a prosecution, and it's a civil court. In any case, there was no lay of information for a prosecution, and all this is in the.
Well, the funny thing is, you see, about all of this, was that the court that I was in originally with Mohammed Badr is a de facto court. Now, my argument was that I requested the judge to properly constitute a court, properly convene a court.
Yeah.
And I asked him 4 times, and then he called contempt. Now, how can you call contempt in a de facto court when contempt is a de jure court, a common law court, because it's a common law offence? So therefore, they're crossing jurisdictions and running two jurisdictions in the same court. Not to mention the fact that if a court isn't properly convened, there can be no contempt because the court doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. And he was telling, don't forget, Stuart, the judge was telling you to say sorry. He said,
Yeah, no, we'll come to
apologize.
that. That was in the other court.
No, but the thing
the
is,
other court-
it's not a court at all. You're in the court building, but
Yeah.
since they don't have a legitimate case or claim, it
It's
can't
not-
be
it's
described.
void.
It's not,
Well, the question is,
yeah.
because this is a contempt court, a contempt charge, which
Yeah.
is civil, how did it become criminal?
Yeah,
Not to
exactly.
mention the fact that a judge cannot be a judge in his own cause,
Exactly.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So
the
you know.
judge did say to me, "You can purge this contempt if you admit to this." I'm not going to admit to that.
So
because
this
there
is-
was no court.
This is what I want to pick up.
Effectively, what he was attempting to do was to entice me
Yeah.
to admit that I
Yeah.
lied into lying to the court
Yeah.
when I wasn't prepared to compromise my own integrity to do that.
Yeah.
And because of that, he put me back into prison,
Yeah.
but he had to grant me leave to appeal,
Mhm.
which he had to do.
Mm.
So all this mess is now going to come out in the appeal, hopefully in a public
Right.
trial by jury,
Mm.
so that the public can decide who is the guilty and culpable party here who has willfully obstructed the course of justice.
Yeah.
Not only that. I mean.
In front of 13 witnesses, I might add.
Yeah. The thing is, I know I repeat myself, but all this is going on. There is no prosecution. There is no claim. There is no fee paid. There is no case management. So it's a totally non.
Well, they will
And
police
so
that
many-
willful obstruction.
So many cases are like this, and the guy tried to make you confess.
Yeah. Many
Well, of
times.
course, it doesn't
And
look
use-
very good, does
and-
it?
and
That
use
a
the-
gun in person beat the Attorney General.
And he used the prison facilities as leverage to try and force a confession out of you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Listen, Stuart.
Exactly.
Listen, I'm happy you're a free man. You live to fight. You help so many people. You have so much legal knowledge. Can we end this now? I got people waiting on the reception for me. But listen, man, great. We're going to catch up. We're going to have a little celebration. And we mustn't drink over the limit. But listen, we'll catch up very soon, Stuart.
Look, the fight goes on, okay?
It
Yeah,
goes on.
take
All right.
care,
God
Stuart.
bless.
All right.
Take care.
Thanks for the few minutes.
Cheers.